Part 25. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 241. Yan, what did you just say? My brother didn't hear clearly. Suddenly surrounded by Qin Lu's aura, Nan Yan suddenly felt a little flustered. This posture gave her the illusion that as soon as he lowered his head, he would kiss her. Brother. Nan Yan shrank back and licked her lips innocently. Can you sit down first? Qin Lu's eyes fell on her lips, his eyes gradually darkened, and he slightly restrained the aggression in his eyes, not wanting to scare the children. Yet Qin Lu responded casually and sat back. But his hand was slowly placed on the back of the girl's neck. Gently squeeze the soft flesh on the back of her neck. Nan Yan's body froze. It was like there was a string of electricity running through her back. Brother, I was wrong. Nan Yan couldn't resist and begged for mercy. Where did this bitch learn these moves? He actually pinched the back of her neck. Qin Lu slightly squinted his eyes, held his head with one hand, and looked at her sideways, still squeezing her. Huh? What's wrong? Nan Yan's tone was very sincere. I shouldn't say that you are flirting. After all, my brother is still a gentleman, not a gangster. Actually, my brother thinks it's good to be a gangster. What do you think of Yan? Nan Yan shook her head quickly. Of course not. Brother, you are a gentleman, noble and elegant, and you cannot do rogue things. Nan Yan felt extremely regretful now. It's so good, what's wrong with her mouth? Qin Lu also saw the little guy's nervousness, and when he saw her cowardly begging for mercy, he chuckled and stopped teasing her. The little girl really looks like she has sharp teeth and a sharp mouth, and she is more timid than anyone else when she acts seriously. Zhang Nai and Wu Yu were sitting in front, and their stomachs ached from laughing. If they weren't afraid that they might get beaten if they laughed out loud, they probably wouldn't be able to hold it back. Nan Yan was very sensible and didn't say anything. And he tried his best to distance himself from Qin Lu, almost pressing his body against the car door. Qin Lu couldn't help but sigh. The little guy really has a childish temper and gets into trouble with him at every turn. But what can be done? Still have to continue to pamper her. With a helpless chuckle, Qin Lu took out a lollipop from his pocket and handed it over. Yan, brother, can I apologize to you? I shouldn't tease you or make you unhappy. Nan Yan raised her eyelids and glanced at him. I didn't want to pay attention to him at first. After thinking about it, I didn't resist the temptation of the lollipop and reached out to take it. Then, Qin Lu took advantage of the situation and rubbed the top of her head. Come closer to the middle. There is a lot of space in the car, so you don't have to stick to the door all the time. After saying that, he took his hand back, picked up the notebook beside him, and started working on his work again. Nan Yan bit the candy and moved a little further inside to make herself sit more comfortably. Hashtag. Things on Weibo will continue to ferment. Tang Tang was afraid that the matter would be serious, so he spent a lot of money to find hackers, and asked the hackers to help reduce the popularity and delete the posts. However, I contacted several hackers in succession, and they all said that the hackers were at a higher level than them and they could not solve the problem. It doesn't matter if some posts are deleted. Because hot searches are on the list, no matter how many they delete, they can't compare to the number of new posts that appear. No way, Tang Tang found Bayuki's studio through channels. The price she offered was high, 30% higher than the lowest market price. Her only requirement was to do it as soon as possible. For the sake of money, Bayuki took it. Thinking that Nanyan was short of money, he sent a message to Nanyan very attentively. God, why, there is an urgent order, are you free to take it? Bayuki, if you don't have time, I'll give it to someone else. Nan Yan felt her phone vibrate, picked it up and looked at it. Don't answer. Then she thought about it and guessed who placed the order. She withdrew the message she had just sent and sent again, answered. Yuki. He saw it all. God Y initially responded by saying no, then withdrew and then changed his mind. In his impression, God Y has not changed his mind yet. This is the first time. Nanyan explained calmly, I just have some time, and the price of urgent orders is high. If you don't make money, you won't make it in vain. Yuki, understood. Since God Y is so short of money, he must not be stingy. I will send you the money for this urgent order when the time comes. Nanyan, that's not necessary, just follow the contract. After all, it was easy to do anything to her. After ending the call with Yuki, Nanyan went to the backstage of Weibo and took down the most searched post. The whole process took no more than a minute. Hashtag. Tang Tang keeps refreshing Weibo. When she saw that the most searched post had been deleted, she relaxed and let out a deep breath. The hot searches are gone. As long as all those posts are cleared, this matter can be suppressed. However, she couldn't suppress the feeling in her heart. After calming down for a few minutes, she picked up her phone and made a call, book a flight for me. I'm going to Jincheng. Lin Ziyan dared to go against her, how could she let her off lightly? Hashtag. Settle into your old home. Zhang Nai was also browsing Weibo with her mobile phone. Seeing that none of the posts from the morning were left, I couldn't help but ask Nanyan. Sister, there are no more posts about Tang Tang and Sister Ziyan on the internet. Is this the end of the matter? Nanyan raised her eyebrows lightly, of course not. She rubbed the edge of the phone and raised her eyebrows with a hint of violence, next time, I will leave her no room to turn over. I see. Zhang Nai looked like she understood, and said excitedly, my sister asked Sister Ziyan to record the voice before, and her arrogant words were the biggest clue. And with her perverse and arrogant character, she will never let it go easily and will continue to act like a monster. When the time comes, release those audios and hammer her to death. Sister, am I right? I have to say that Zhang Nai was also very smart and guessed her thoughts. Tianyi helped Mr. An come down from upstairs and glanced around the living room. Yanyan, where's Alu? Didn't he send you back? He still had something to do. After sending us back, he left again. Nanyan got up from the sofa, went over to help him, and asked with a smile, Grandpa, do you have anything to do with him? It's nothing, I just feel like I haven't had dinner with him for a long time, and I want him to stay for dinner. Mr. N's favorable impression of Qin Lu continues to increase as time goes by. After all, his granddaughter will be taken care of by him in the future. He wants to spend more time with Qin Lvran while he is still in Jincheng, so that he can get to know him better. Then I'll ask him later if he has time in the evening. Yeah, let's call that boy from the Shen family over too. It's fun. Good. Nanyan agreed with a smile. Later, he sent a message to the two of them respectively, asking them if they had time to come to the old house for dinner in the evening. After Shen Junqing received the message, she quickly replied and said yes. Then, he took a screenshot of the message from Nanyan and proudly sent it to Qin Lu. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 242. Shen Junqing received the message and quickly replied, saying yes. Then, he took a screenshot of the message sent by Nanyan and sent it to Qin Lu with a proud look. See, Yan still cares about me, the third brother, and took the initiative to invite me to the old house for dinner. Qin Lu had just replied to Nanyan's message. Seeing Shen Junqing's show-off, he sneered and calmly took a screenshot of the message sent by Nanyan and sent it to him. The pride on Shen Junqing's face was instantly suppressed. He was autistic. Qin Lu, that dog man. Hashtag. In the evening, Qin Lu and Shen Junqing arrived at the An family's old house almost at the same time. Nanyan was preparing medicine in the pharmacy until it was time for dinner, when Zhang Nai came to call her and she went down. The two were talking to the old man. It seems that the three of them get along well and happily. When she came downstairs, Mr. An said with a smile, "Yan Yan, are you done?" Nan Yan walked to his side, "There's still a little bit left, let's continue after dinner." "Well, no hurry, come, let's eat first." The old man likes to be lively with many people, so he stood up with a smile and asked everyone to go to dinner. At the dinner table, Shen Junqing and Zhang Nai adjusted the atmosphere, which was very joyful. The old man was happy and ate half a bowl more than usual. After dinner, Qin Lu and Shen Junqing stayed here for another hour, and only left when they saw that the old man looked sleepy. After everyone left, Nan Yan went back upstairs and finished the last step. A few pills as big as longan were packed in a square medicine box. After washing up, she sat cross-legged on the bed and opened her laptop. He hadn't been to the dark domain these days, and he hadn't even received the commission for the previous A-level task. After logging into the website, her message box kept flashing. She clicked it, and the chat sent by Fu Linfen popped up. Almost all of them were asking her if she was available and when she would be online. Fu Linfen was very anxious and kept leaving messages, but for several days, he hadn't waited for Nan Yan to reply. Seeing that his elder brother's medicine was running out, he became even more anxious. Except for visiting Fu Yubai, he stayed in front of the computer all day. He was afraid that Nan Yan would see the message and reply, and he would not be able to see it in time. Nan Yan scrolled through the messages and typed two words lightly, "Are you available?" Fu Linfen heard the beep sound, and his sleepy nerves suddenly became clear, and he hurried to see the avatar of diving fish. "Sure enough," she replied. He clicked on the avatar and saw the word available, and he almost cried. He sniffed and quickly replied, "Did you make the medicine yourself?" Nan Yan, "Yes." Fu Linfen, "Are you a pharmacist?" Nan Yan, "Nonsense." Fu Linfen, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to question you. I have something I want to ask you for help, no matter what the price, as long as my brother can be saved, it's fine." Nan Yan, "Send me a copy of your brother's medical records, I'll see if he can be saved." Fu Linfen, "Okay, I'll send it now." Fu Linfen excitedly went to find Fu Yubai's medical records and sent them to Nan Yan. Fu Yubai's disease is very strange. He has been seen by famous doctors both at home and abroad over the years. However, no one can do anything about his disease. Except suppressing his condition and alleviating his deterioration, there is no way to treat him. If he hadn't met the fish who loves diving in the dark domain and got medicine from her, I'm afraid my brother would be in danger this time. Now all his hopes are on her. Nan Yan quickly finished reading the case and typed on the keyboard, "The patient's condition is very complicated. I want to diagnose and treat him in person, so I'll give you an address, and you bring him here and stay in the first hospital." Fu Linfen said in embarrassment, "But, my elder brother's condition is not suitable for moving at all. Can you come, no matter how much the consultation fee is, it's fine." Nan Yan, "I'll give him some more medicine and let him finish it, then he can be moved. I'm very busy and can't spare the time to go." Fu Linfen, "Then, this is the only way. As long as there is a glimmer of hope, he can't let it go. Since the pharmacist said that those medicines can make the elder brother withstand the fatigue of the journey, there should be no problem. Fu Linfen will tell Fu Yubai about this good news as soon as possible." After listening, Fu Yubai nodded and said in a warm voice, "Okay, Jinchinj is not far from Yunchinj, let's go there in person. If he can go to see this doctor, he can confirm whether it is the little sister." Fu Linfen held his cold hand and said sincerely, "Brother, I think she can definitely cure you." Well. Hashtag. Early the next morning, Tang Tang went to the Lin family. At that time, Lin Xian had just finished breakfast and was walking in the garden to digest her food. She has been in better health recently and is more willing to be exposed to the sun to make her look better. Suddenly, she saw someone breaking in and her face was a little flustered. "Who are you?" Tang Tang took off her sunglasses and said arrogantly and perversely, "Lin Ziyan, I'm here to discuss business with you." She didn't come alone, and there were 2 bodyguards around her. The 2 bodyguards gave Lin Ziyan a great sense of oppression, making her face a little pale. "Are you Tang Tang?" Lin Ziyan bit her lip. "What business do you want to discuss with me?" Tang Tang sneered disdainfully, "Is this how you want to discuss business with me? Don't you want to invite me in to sit down?" Lin Ziyan was silent. She didn't want to talk to Tang Tang. But Tang Tang's identity was the little princess of the Tang family in the imperial capital. She really couldn't afford to offend him. "Come in with me." Lin Ziyan took Tang Tang and her 2 bodyguards into the living room. After Tang Tang entered, she sat directly on the main seat, with her legs raised, and then took off her sunglasses. Judging from her appearance, she was a pretty girl. But her mind was extremely vicious and dark. Lin Ziyan restrained the mental pressure and resistance brought by social phobia, and asked with a stiff face, "What to drink?" "No, these garbage in your family are not worthy of my mouth." Tang Tang was arrogant. "Xiaoxia, give her the contract." She held her newly finished manicure, glanced at her, and snorted, after reading it, "If there is no problem, you should sign it quickly, don't waste my time." It was a contract. Tang was willing to invest in the Lin family's enterprise and give the majority to the Lin family. But the requirement is that Lin Ziyan must not only delete all the paintings on her Weibo, but also hand over the paintings she drew to her, and declare on Weibo that she plagiarized her. Tang Tang wants her to bear all the scandals. You'd better think clearly. You are just an amateur. You have never shown your face on the internet and don't have many fans. Apologizing and then quitting the circle will not have any impact on you. If there is Tang's investment, your Lin family's business will usher in a great opportunity. With Tang's help, it will not be difficult for your Lin family to move to the next level. But if you don't know what's good for you. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 243. Tang Tang paused, and her tone sank, "But if you don't know what's good for you, you should be able to imagine the consequences that the Lin family will face." Lin Ziyan gritted her teeth and looked at her angrily. Why is she so arrogant? It was obviously her who did the wrong thing, why can she force her so righteously? But this is the reality. Their Lin family, which is not as good as the Tang family, must be controlled by the Tang family. She was also unwilling and didn't want Tang Tang to succeed so easily. But she couldn't joke with her father's hard work. Lin Ziyan clenched her palms fiercely, not quite believing her. "If I agree to your conditions, will you keep your promise and not do anything to my family?" She didn't care about the Tang family's investment at all, she just asked the Tang family not to cause trouble for the Lin family. The company developed very well in the hands of her father, and her father didn't have such great ambitions to develop the company. As long as it was enough for their family to eat and drink without worrying about it, it was enough. With foreign investment, it would only disperse Dad's management power and make him shrink. Lin Ziyan is very sober and smart. Although she cannot go to school and socialize normally due to her physical condition, her efforts and seriousness in self-study at home are no worse than anyone else. Tang Tang raised her eyebrows proudly. "Of course, you have agreed to my conditions, what reason do I have to target you?" How could she let her go? And she is not so kind that she will really let the Tang family help the Lin family. She just wants to take the opportunity to let the Tang family swallow up the Lin family. Anyway, such a small family can be swallowed up by them with just a move. I don't trust you. Lin Xian's voice was very light, but her tone was very solemn. I can sign a contract with you, so you will always believe it, right? Tang Tang raised her hand, and the bodyguard standing beside her handed over a pre-printed contract. Of course, the contract is a formal contract, but whether it will be abided by is not certain. After all, in this society, the strong are respected. Lin Xian took it and read it once, making sure there was no pitfall. In order not to implicate her family, she could only grit her teeth and sign the contract. Just as she was looking for a pen and preparing to sign her name under the contract, a cold voice sounded faintly. Xian, put the pen down. Lin Xian looked back in surprise. Nan Yan was walking slowly into the room. Zhang Nai was still following her, and after entering, she trotted all the way to her side. She grabbed Lin Xian's hand and said angrily, "Sister Xian, are you stupid to believe this bad woman's words?" Yan Yan, Lin Xian felt a panic of being caught. "Didn't I tell you that I'll take care of everything?" Nan Yan walked to her side, picked up the contract that Tang Tang gave to Lin Xian from the coffee table, and glanced at it roughly. Then he raised his eyebrows and glanced at Tang Tang, who was taking over the show, and sneered. In front of her, he tore the two contracts into pieces bit by bit. Tang Tang was shocked by Nan Yan's aura. "Who are you?" She was in Kyoto, so she naturally didn't know what was going on in Jincheng. But Nan Yan's appearance and temperament. This was a shock she had never felt from the first lady of the imperial capital. Moreover, her eyes at this time brought her a strong sense of oppression, making her even breathe cautiously. Nan Yan raised her hand and scattered the shredded paper on Tang Tang's face, and said arrogantly and coldly, with sneer, "The small Tang family still wants to threaten my friend, who gave you the courage? You, bastard!" Tang Tang was frightened for a while, then screamed, stood up and wanted to hit Nan Yan. However, Nan Yan would not stand there and let Tang Tang hit her. Tang Tang was kicked by Nan Yan and fell on the sofa again, holding her stomach in pain and hunched over, screaming. The two bodyguards standing beside her saw that their lady was beaten, and they were not willing to be outdone, and hurriedly went up to deal with Nan Yan. Lin Xian's face turned pale, and she hurriedly called for help. She was afraid that Nan Yan would be injured. Zhang Nai held her hand and comforted her, "Don't be afraid, Sister Xian, I'm very strong, these two bodyguards can't hurt her." Having seen Nan Yan's fierceness in beating people, Zhang Nai was very confident in Nan Yan's strength. Sure enough, Nan Yan easily knocked down the two bodyguards, and the whole process took less than a minute. Lin Xian was stunned. She really didn't know that Nan Yan was so strong. Tang Tang was frightened by the scene in front of her. She was a spoiled little princess, and she always bullied others. But now, it was her turn, and she felt the fear and despair. The pain from her lower abdomen kept stimulating her nerves, making her nerves almost collapse. Lin Xian walked to Nan Yan, stretched out her hand to pull her clothes, and asked softly, "Yan Yan, she is the eldest daughter of the Tang family, is it really okay like this?" This sentence reminded Tang Tang. Yes, she is the eldest daughter of the Tang family. She suddenly recovered. Enduring the pain, she looked at Nan Yan with a ferocious face, "If you dare to touch me, my father will not let you go. Not only will the Lin family be ruined, you will also have no chance of getting by." She didn't know Nan Yan's identity. But she was just a small family in Jincheng at most, how could she afford to offend the Tang family? Nan Yan ignored Tang Tang and reached out to pat Lin Xian on the shoulder, "Take off your computer." "Okay." Lin Xian quickly went to get her computer. Although she didn't know what Nan Yan was going to do, it seemed to be her instinct to listen to her words. Not long after, Lin Xian ran down holding her computer. Nan Yan took it, opened the cover, and turned on the phone. Then she tapped quickly on the keyboard with both hands. There was surveillance in the living room. She intercepted the surveillance after Tang Tang came in, made it into a video, and then posted it on Weibo along with the recording of Tang Tang's phone call to Lin Xian yesterday, threatening her to record it. This time, it is still number 1 on the airborne hot search list. Later, she made 2 more posts, which were placed at the 2nd and 3rd positions on the hot search list respectively. The eye-catching word explosion immediately attracted netizens to click on it. Almost instantly, the comments started to be scolded. Go, it's so disgusting, how can this guy named Tang be so shameless? Yesterday, calling someone to threaten an amateur girl didn't count. Today, I went to someone's house to threaten a wealthy lady. How wonderful! What kind of family can raise such an arrogant, domineering, and ignorant daughter, plagiarizing and occupying other people's paintings first, threatening and intimidating other people's families later, plagiarizing the fruits of other people's work without any real materials? It is really eye-opening. Yesterday's trending searches and posts dropped inexplicably. It turns out that capital has failed. Isn't it powerless to bully others? Don't be afraid, ladies, we support you. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 244. Boycott Tangs, boycott capital, support amateur girls in defending their rights. At the end, all the comments were about boycotting Tangs. Tangs. The secretary suddenly ran into the president's office in a panic. Boss Tang, something big has happened. Tang Xiangming frowned. What big thing has happened? The secretary quickly handed him the phone. On the screen, there was news that netizens spontaneously boycotted Tangs. Tang Xiangming took a look and was immediately angry. What's going on? The secretary reminded, look at the hot search. Tang Xiangming left the comment area and looked at the hot search list. Hashtag the plagiarist has a strong background and bullies others. Hashtag. Hashtag Tang's daughter threatens amateurs. Hashtag. Hashtag I have never seen such a shameless person. Hashtag. 3 hot searches, each with a big red explosion word behind it. Tang Xiangming clicked into see, and the more he looked, the uglier his face looked. The secretary was still reporting. Mr. Tang, actually there was a hot search yesterday, but at that time it was just about the young lady plagiarizing an amateur's painting, and it was later suppressed. But today, the other party not only released the recording of the young lady threatening her, but also the video. This matter immediately aroused public anger. Now the heat is high, and even the company's stock has been affected and has declined a little. To be honest, even the secretary felt that Tang Tang was too much after seeing the recording and video. She was not right to plagiarize, but when she was discovered, she not only had no intention of repenting, but also threatened others in return. In addition, he also found out that the person who was plagiarized suffered from congenital heart disease and severe social phobia. It was a miracle that he could live to the age of 18. His weak body could not bear any thoughts. Tang Tang actually threatened her with someone else's family. What kind of vicious thoughts is this? She is so stupid. Tang Xiangming was furious. She has many ways to solve these problems. Why is she so stupid and leaves so much evidence? Immediately arrange for someone to reduce the trending search. The secretary's face flashed with surprise for a moment, and he lowered his head quickly, not daring to let Tang Xiangming see the emotions in his eyes. He responded, took back his mobile phone, and left the president's office. He was just an employee. The boss gave him an order, and he had to do it. As for right and wrong, it was not for him to judge at all. Hashtag. After the secretary left the office, Tang Xiangming took out his mobile phone and made a call. The mobile phone in Tang Tang's pocket rang. She glanced at Nan Yan, gritted her teeth and took it out. When she saw the word Dad on the screen, a hint of joy suddenly appeared in her eyes. Just when she was about to answer, a fair and beautiful hand reached out and snatched her mobile phone. Tang Tang's hands were empty, and she was shocked and angry. She screamed, "What are you doing? Give me my mobile phone back." Nan Yan swiped the screen slowly and answered the call. As soon as she answered the call, Tang Xiangming's furious words came over, "Tang Tang, get out of here and go back to the capital." Tang Tang's face turned pale when she was yelled at. It seemed that she couldn't believe that her father who loved her the most would yell at her like this. Nan Yan turned on the speaker of her mobile phone and said lightly, "Hello, Mr. Tang. Who are you? How did Tang Tang's mobile phone end up in your hands?" Tang Xiangming's tone suddenly became much gloomier. "Let me introduce myself first. I'm Nan Yan, a good friend of Lin Xian." Tang Xiangming also reacted quickly. Lin Xian was the girl who was threatened by Tang Tang for plagiarism. And this Nan Yan. Perhaps, she was the one who helped her to hype the hot search. "You want to ask me for conditions? Then tell me what compensation you want." Tang Xiangming's tone was very high, as if Nan Yan was already marrying up to him by being able to talk to him. "That's not the case," Nan Yan said sarcastically. "I just want to remind Mr. Tang to take good care of your daughter and don't let her come out and embarrass herself again." "You." Tang Xiangming was so angry that his breathing stagnated, and a burst of anger rushed straight to his head. "Also, you can't teach your daughter well, and you let her out to cause trouble. Someone will teach her for you." After saying that, Nan Yan didn't give Tang Xiangming a chance to speak again, and hung up the phone directly. Tang Tang thought Nan Yan was crazy. Knowing that it was her father, she dared to talk to him like this. Tang Tang gritted her teeth, "My father will not let you go." Nan Yan turned her phone page to Weibo, threw it back to her, and sneered. "You should worry about yourself first." Tang Tang took the phone and saw that she was on the hot search again. And this time, the situation was even more serious than yesterday. Not only did she expose the recording and video, but Nan Yan also posted a lawyer's letter. Her private messages were full of messages scolding her. In such a short time, her 5 million fans have dropped by more than 500,000, and they are still dropping. Ah! Tang Tang broke down and threw the phone out of disbelief. The phone was of good quality and the wooden floor was intact. "I want to go home, I want to go home." She stood up with her hands on her stomach in a daze and wanted to leave. Nan Yan raised her hand and pushed her back. "Don't leave in a hurry, someone will pick you up later." Tang Tang asked blankly, "Who will pick me up?" "Guess." Nan Yan raised her eyebrows with a bit of evil. Just now, she asked Zhang Nai to call the police. It is estimated that the police will come soon. However, before the police came, the call from the painting association came first. Nan Yan kindly helped her pick up the phone, and after the call was connected, she placed it in front of her. An angry roar came from the phone. "Tang Tang, you plagiarized other people's paintings, which is bad and has bad behavior. Now I inform you that you have been expelled from the painting association. All the honors you have won will be taken back. Don't tell others that you are a member of the painting association in the future." After the roar, the phone was hung up with a pop. Tang Tang trembled and burst into tears. When had she ever suffered such grievances? She was expelled from the painting association and scolded by the whole network. All of this was caused by them. When she goes back, she must let her father teach them a lesson and make them pay the price. It really deserves it. You will not live if you do evil. Zhang Nai snorted coldly, then patted Lin Xian's arm and said to her, "Sister Xian, look, sister has solved the problem." Lin Xian nodded, and then said to Nan Yan with red eyes, "Yan Yan, thank you." If it weren't for Nan Yan, she really didn't know what she should do. I'm afraid she has already signed Tang Tang's contract and posted an apology on Weibo. Then the person whose reputation is ruined now is her. She didn't know if she could still hold on when facing those vicious curses and scoldings. Nan Yan smiled slightly, "Don't be polite to me." Soon, the police car came. Tang Tang's face changed when she saw the police. She knew what Nan Yan had just said, that someone would come to pick her up. What was going on? Ms. Tang Tang, you are in danger of threatening and intimidating others, and instigating fans to expose online. Please come with us. No. I don't want to go to the police station. Do you know who my father is? I won't go with you. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 245. Tang Tang shook her head desperately, not wanting to go with the police. Unfortunately, it was not something she could say no to. Two policemen stepped forward and tried to take her away by force. Tang Tang cried, "Let me go, I want to call my dad. He won't let you do this to me." The policeman said sternly, "If you have anything to say, please tell me after you get to the police station. You can contact your family to bail you out then, but now, you must go back to the police station with us." In the end, no matter how she struggled, she was still taken to the police car. It happened that Mother Lin came back from shopping and saw the police car parked in the yard. She was so scared that she hurried forward to ask what was going on. When she saw Nan Yan there, she subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief and calmed down a bit. Then she learned about the incident from Nan Yan. The police car took Tang Tang back to the police station first. Ms. Lin held Nan Yan's hand and kept thanking her. Then Ms. Lin smiled helplessly, "We took the little princess of the Tang family to the police station. I'm afraid the Tang family will not let us go. But if they had to choose between the Lin family's business and their daughter, she and her husband would rather their daughter be healthy and happy, even if they had to start all over again in the future." Nan Yan said lightly, "Now that the Tang family is at the center of the storm, they dare not easily take action against the Lin family. After a while, when the heat fades, we will see the situation. Since she has decided to intervene in this matter, she will definitely not let the Lin family get into trouble. With her protection, she wants to see how the Tang family wants to move the Lin family." After having lunch at the Lin family, Nan Yan called Qin Lu and asked him to pick her up. As for Zhang Nai, she stayed to accompany Lin Xian more. After all, Lin Xian only has the two of them as friends now. After going through all this, Zhang Nai wants to calm her down. Qin Lu came quickly and was already outside the Lin family half an hour later. Nan Yan said something to the people of the Lin family and went out with her mobile phone. Outside the door, Wu Yu got out of the car very diligently and opened the door for Nan Yan. As expected, Qin Lu had a notebook on his lap again. When he saw her get in the car, he closed the notebook, then took out a lollipop from his pocket and handed it to her. Nan Yan had long been accustomed to Qin Lu's feeding, and took it naturally. "Do you need brother's help with the Tang family's affairs?" He saw the matter on the hot search because he saw the stock market of the Tang family plummeting. This method was obviously from Nan Yan's hand. That Lin Xian was her friend. So, he asked this question. After all, the Tang family is also a top figure in the imperial capital, and they are famous for protecting their shortcomings. "Brother, can you be more sure of my ability? She can't solve it herself, and she won't take on this porcelain job." Nan Yan thought, she didn't show that she was incompetent. Why does Boss Jean always think that she needs help with everything? If Qin Lu knew her thoughts, he would probably be angry and vomit blood. He was just worried about her, which had nothing to do with her ability. He wanted Nan Yan to rely on him, but... Forget it, I won't say it anymore. Wu Yu drove the car obediently in front. In the car, Qin Lu was dealing with work again, and Nan Yan lowered her head to browse the web. Recently, she has paid more attention to Western news. Especially the person who pretended to be her, who seemed to appear too frequently. He even attended the banquet, as if he wanted to completely occupy her identity. There happened to be a photo of the counterfeit on the web page, and Nan Yan clicked it to see it. The counterfeit seemed to know that he was fake, and was afraid of being seen, so he didn't show his full face and wore a mask covering his eyes. So, what was her motive and purpose for pretending to be her? It seems that Marcus should check it out. It happened that he returned to the United States, so he could use his connections there. After browsing the web for a while, she looked at Qin Lu thoughtfully and couldn't help asking, "Brother, how long will you stay in Jincheng?" Qin Lu looked up in confusion. "Why do you suddenly ask this question?" Nan Yan shook her head lightly. "Nothing, just asking." It was really a casual question. After all, the Qin family's home base is in the imperial capital. Even if they come to Jincheng on a business trip, the business trip will take too long. What is it that requires him to deal with it for so long? Nan Yan vaguely guessed that Qin Lu might stay here because of her. Although she didn't want to admit it, Nan Yan had to admit that Qin Lu had occupied a special place in her heart. Qin Lu pondered for a moment and said in a low voice, "It will probably take about a month. When this phase of the project is finished, I should go back to the imperial capital." "Oh. She is almost there, and it will be time for the exam in about a month. After the exam, she plans to go to country M after the summer vacation." Hashtag Imperial Capital. Tang Xiangming got angry in the office. The trending search could not be reduced. Now the internet has been slandering the Tang family. Tang's stock has dropped dramatically. Almost 6 figures are lost every minute. The secretaries and executives lowered their heads and dared not speak. They were afraid that they would become a punching bag in the next second. It was obviously the eldest daughter of the Tang family who caused the trouble. What does it have to do with them? However, they did not dare to say this. Just when Tang Xiangming was about to kick the table in anger, his cell phone rang. Tang cried and said, "Dad, I was sued by the Lin family and I am now in the police station. Come and save me." After hearing this, Tang Xiangming was so angry that his eyes went black. Good Lin family. Dare to call the police to arrest his daughter. Tang Xiangming was originally angry with Tang, but when he heard her crying so miserably, his heart softened. Who told him that he doted on his little daughter the most on weekdays and couldn't bear to see her suffer any grievances? He said angrily, Tang, give your phone to the police, I will talk to him." Tang was immediately proud when she heard Tang Xiangming's words. With her father here, it's not just a matter of a word to let her go. Lin Xian, right? She didn't believe that with the strength of the Tang family, she couldn't pay the price. As for the painting association, Tang pinched her palm fiercely. She joined the painting association at the beginning just because the threshold of the painting association was high and she would have face after joining. It was indeed the case. After she became a member of the painting association, at every banquet, someone would use her status as a member of the painting association to compliment her, and even buy her paintings at a high price. This greatly satisfied her vanity. But now that she was expelled from the painting association, I'm afraid she will inevitably hear those rumors in the future. Even if those people dare not say it in front of her, they will definitely point fingers at her behind her back. Thinking of this, Tang trembled with hatred. After answering the phone, the police returned the phone to Tang. "Ms. Tang, Mr. Tang has paid the bail for you. You can go out, but you can't leave Jincheng. After the lawyers of both parties arrive, we will punish you for your behavior." Hearing the first sentence, Tang's mouth corners raised, and hearing the second sentence, her eyes darkened again. She was not acquitted. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 246. Tang picked up the phone that had not been hung up and started crying again. "Dad, they won't let me go home. Tang Xiangming pinched his eyebrows and comforted him. Dad will send someone to talk to the Lin family and ask them to withdraw the lawsuit. Tang, this incident has a huge negative impact. When you come back, you should post an apology, and then I will send you abroad to avoid the limelight. Tang was unwilling, but she had to admit that her father was right. I'm afraid that what she will face when she goes back now is all sarcasm. Instead of becoming the topic of conversation and laughing stock of others, she might as well go abroad to let things pass first. But she couldn't swallow this breath. Even if she wants to go abroad, before she goes abroad, she must deal with Lin Ziyan and that Nan Yan. Hashtag. Qin Lu is very busy at work. Nan Yan sat in his temporary office, listening to his various video conferences and telephone conferences switching back and forth. She came here purely to sit here and be a decoration. Wu Yu came over with a bunch of food in his arms. Miss Nan, these snacks are for you. If you feel bored, there is a computer here, you can play games. Nan Yan reached out and picked one of the snacks at random, raised her eyebrows and asked, will I disturb his meeting if I play here? Wu Yu, hey, you can keep your voice down. He really didn't consider this. After all, he was only thinking about how to please Nan Yan. Nan Yan said casually, I'd better watch something for a while. She didn't know what Qin Luffy meant by asking him to sit here. Was he really staring at her and not letting her go to Shenjunking to hang out? The more she thought about it, the more likely she felt that this was. Just when Nan Yan was bored, a dialog box popped up on her phone. By Yuki, why God, yesterday's customer placed an order again and wanted to remove the hot search. Do you still accept it? Nan Yan replied expressionlessly with 2 words, no. She planned to let these 3 hot searches hang for a day and a night. By Yuki, then don't accept it. I'll go and refuse it. Nan Yan, yeah. Calculating the time, it is estimated that the Tang family will not be able to sit still. Sure enough, in the evening, Zhang Nai sent her a message saying that someone from the Tang family had come. Zhang Nai stayed at the Lin family, not only to accompany Lin Ziyan, but also to help her pass on the message. Nan Yan looked at the time, it was 5:30 in the afternoon. Tell Ziyan to postpone it for a day and talk about it tomorrow. Zhang Nai, okay, sister. Zhang Nai then conveyed Nan Yan's intention to Lin Ziyan, and Lin Ziyan went to tell Mrs. Lin. Mrs. Lin believed Nan Yan, and her husband was not at home today, and there were only 2 women at home, so it was really not suitable to negotiate with the Tang family. So the people from the Tang family were turned away and had to leave in disappointment. In the evening, when Qin Lu was done with his work, the 2 of them ate outside. After dinner, Qin Lu sent her home. The car stopped at the door of the old house. Before she got out of the car, Qin Lu asked in a calm voice, Yan, have you considered how to spend your vacation? Nan Yan was stunned for a moment, and then casually said, I haven't thought about it yet, let's see when the time comes. She didn't want Qin Lu to know about going abroad. If Qin Lu knew, it is very likely that she would not be able to go back alone. But she didn't want others to know about her going to the United States. Qin Lu pinched her cheek lovingly, okay, there is still a month, you can plan it. Nan Yan. Instead of rubbing her head, you pinch her face. Can you do something normal? After complaining, she unbuckled her seat belt. I'll go back first. Yan Qin Lu called her leisurely. Nan Yan turned back subconsciously, and a gift box was stuck on her cheek. Make up for your monthly exam gift. The man laughed softly with a sultry tremor. Nan Yan blinked, sighed, and took the gift. Standing outside the car, she waved her hand, be careful on the road. Yeah. Qin Lu watched Nan Yan enter the door, then turned the car around and returned the same way. Halfway through the car, Qin Lu received a call. Mr. Qin, Xing Jia has caught a few small fish. Do you need to deal with them? Qin Lu's voice was cold and ruthless. No, let Xing Jia continue, be more active, play a long line, and bring out the big fish. Yes, Mr. Qin. The other party paused for a moment, and then said, someone wants to kill Xing Jia, and has sent assassins several times. Unfortunately, no one was left alive. Of course, the person the other party wanted to kill was not Xing Jia, but Nian, who was pretending to be Xing Jia. Qin Lu's voice was low, be careful, don't let Xing Jia get into trouble. Yes. The other party reported a few more sentences before hanging up the phone. Qin Lu tapped his fingers on the steering wheel, and a hint of hostility was in his dark eyes. It seems that he also needs to take some time to go to country M. Why did Nian disappear in the first place? Unfortunately, I didn't get Alice's contact information from Marcus. Marcus has returned to country M now. When the time comes, he will go to visit her. Hashtag. And family. And Yeoking and Lulahua are warmly entertaining MRS Tang and Tang Tang. MRS Tang knows that her daughter has been offended, so how can she sit still? Tang Tang's whereabouts are restricted and she can't go back to the capital, so she came to Jinjinj with the lawyer sent by Tang Xiangming. After being rejected by the Lin family, they found the Yin family. After all, Nanyang is the biological daughter of the Yin family. If they can't find Nanyang, they will definitely come to the Yin family. MRS Tang sat on the sofa with great arrogance, and she started to blame. Nanyang helped the Lin family bully my daughter. How do you want to solve this matter? Lulahua's face was very ugly, and he was even angry. Nanyang is a troublemaker who only makes trouble. And the family he offended is bigger and bigger each time. And Yeoking's face was also not very good. Facing MRS Tang's questioning, he was a little humble in momentum. The Yin family can't afford to offend the Tang family. Lulahua gritted her teeth and said directly. MRS Tang, Miss Tang, Nanyang is no longer a member of our Yin family. She is unruly, vulgar, and violent, and we can't control her at all. Just a while ago, I posted a statement on the internet to sever ties with the Yin family. No matter how the Tang family wants to deal with Nanyang, we will never stop them. She couldn't help but feel lucky that she acted quickly and dissolved the relationship between the Yin family and Nanyang first. Otherwise, the Yin family might be implicated by her and targeted by the Tang family. This is the Tang family in the imperial capital. Not those small families in Jinjinj. Even the largest family in Jinjinj has no chance of winning against the Tang family. For such a terrible daughter, they are not worthy of the Yin family. Now Lulahua's heart is more and more inclined to Nweo. Before Nanyang came back, Nweo was the pride of the Yin family. Whether at the banquet or at school, she made her look good. She is well behaved and sensible, close to them, and obedient. If Nanyang hadn't been brought back, Yao Yao wouldn't have had her reputation ruined and been driven out of the country. This is all Nanyang's fault. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 247. Lulahua's words did not satisfy MRS Tang. Nanyang is your biological daughter after all. You must give us an explanation for this matter. My daughter cannot suffer such grievances in vain. MRS Tang held Tang Tang's hand and said sternly, they are going to sue Tang Tang. I tell you, if they don't withdraw the lawsuit, then your Yin family will pay the price. And Yeoking looked flustered, and then hurriedly said, MRS Tang, don't worry, I will definitely let her withdraw the lawsuit and will not let Miss Tang be sued. It's better this way. MRS Tang left a cold snort and did not stay in the Yin family for long. No matter how Yeoking and Lulahua tried to keep her, she left. After MRS Tang and Tang Tang left, Lulahua could not control his emotions and angrily threw the teacup in his hand to the ground. This evil girl, Luli's expression was almost ferocious, she is a disaster star, we shouldn't have taken her back in the first place. And Yeo King was also holding back his anger, and he pulled his tie fiercely, "Go to the old house. He must send Nan Yan away today, and he can't let her stay in Jinjinj anymore, otherwise she will mess up the An family sooner or later." Lula Hua gritted his teeth, "Let's go, find that evil girl." The couple walked out together with a fierce momentum, and just ran into the third child inciting. Inciting saw that the two were in a bad mood, and hurriedly asked, "Where are you going?" And Yeo King said angrily, "To the old house. Didn't Grandpa say that you are not welcome to go?" Inciting actually thought that it was better not to disturb Grandpa. One is that Grandpa has no good feelings for them now, and he is still angry in his heart. The other is that there is too much conflict between Nan Yan and them, and she doesn't want to see them over there. It is obvious that going there will make people dislike him, so why go there? Inciting has no good feelings for Nan Yan, his biological sister. In fact, because Nweo was interfering, he hated her. However, the last time they met in the hospital, and several times after that, he saw a completely different Nan Yan, and his impression of her changed a little. However, Nan Yan's unruly and rebelliousness made him feel that the sister was indeed incompatible with the An family. Nan Yan angered the Tang family in the imperial capital. Now the Tang family is waiting for our reply. If we can't satisfy them, the An family will suffer revenge from the Tang family. And Yeo King's tone was full of anger. Even if the old man dotes on Nan Yan, there should be a limit. Don't let her do whatever she wants. Inciting. Nan Yan's ability to offend people is really daunting. It's okay to offend the family in Jinjinj, but she even dared to offend the Tang family, one of the four major families in the imperial capital. Is she really brave? Inciting simply walked over to the two of them and said, "I'll go with you. Okay, when the time comes, Citing, you can help persuade your grandfather." Hashtag An's old house. After Nan Yan finished talking to Lin Zian on the phone, she saw that it was getting late and prepared to let Mr. An, who was teaching Zhang Nai how to play chess, go to bed. Zhang Nai was smart and had a high level of understanding. Mr. An had seen Zhang Nai watching him play chess all the time, so he taught her some chess knowledge casually because he thought she was interested. Who would have thought that this little girl would learn so quickly and apply what she had learned? It's only been a few days, and she has already played a few games with him. Of course, the main reason is that Mr. An's chess skills are not very good. In layman's terms, he is just a bad chess player. Nan Yan watched 2 games of chess and was also muttering in his heart. It is estimated that in 2 days, the old man may not be Zhang Nai's opponent. After a game, Qin Ye hurried up to clean up the chessboard. When Zhang Nai and Nan Yan helped the old man to go upstairs, the sound of a car engine came from outside. A cold light flashed in Nan Yan's eyes, and she did not stop for a moment while helping Old Manan upstairs. Old Manan said, "Yan Yan, look who is here." Nan Yan said calmly, "I will send you upstairs first. The person who came is looking for me." Although Old Manan is weak, his brain is not suffering from Alzheimer's. He has seen all the hot searches today. It is related to the Tang family in the imperial capital and Nan Yan. It is easy to guess who came to the old house at this time. He wanted to help Nan Yan solve it, but from what Nan Yan said, she wanted to solve this matter herself. Oh! Forget it. Let Yan Yan solve it herself. Anyway, she has Qin Lu as a backer and she is also very powerful, so there is no need to worry about her being bullied. And Yeoking, Lu Lihua and Inciting got out of the car and entered the room. Seeing that there was only Tianyi in the living room cleaning up the chessboard, and Yeoking asked, "Where is my dad? Where is Nan Yan?" Tianyi put the cleaned chessboard under the coffee table, then stood up straight. The old man went to rest. As for the eldest lady, she is also upstairs. If the gentleman wants to find the eldest lady, I will go upstairs to call her. And Yeoking was angry and did not respect Qin Ye very much. He ordered, "Go and call Nan Yan down." Qin Ye turned around and went upstairs to call people. As for the three people downstairs, no one went to entertain them. There was not even a servant who came to make tea and pour water. But the three of them didn't care about these things now, and waited anxiously. Upstairs, Nan Yan waited for the old man to wash his face and brush his teeth, then brought a basin of hot water, poured the medicine bag for foot bath, and asked the old man to soak his feet. "I'll go downstairs and take a look. Ziona, you stay here and watch Grandpa soak his feet. It will take 15 minutes. Zhang Nai smiled with dimples. "Yeah, okay sister." Nan Yan walked out and bumped into Qin Ye. "Miss, the gentleman, the lady, and the third young master are here. They look aggressive and are probably here to cause trouble." "Uncle Tian, be more confident and remove the word probably." Nan Yan sneered, "It seems that the lesson I gave them before was not enough. That's why they thought they had the ability to control her. Uncle Tian, you go take care of the old man, I'll go down to see them." Tian Yi nodded, "Okay, miss, be careful. If there is anything, call me loudly." Nan Yan walked down the stairs slowly. When An Yeoking saw her, he couldn't control himself anymore. He waved his hand and strode towards her. Nan Yan was not the one who stood and got beaten, and she didn't intend to spoil An Yeoking. Even though An Yeoking was her father in name, in this body. If she was the original owner, she might have endured it and just hid without resisting. Unfortunately, she was Nian. "Ah!" An Yeoking's hand was pinched by Nan Yan, and then bent back. A sound of broken bones, accompanied by screams, rang out in the living room. "Nan Yan! What are you doing?" Lulahua's eyes widened, her face full of disbelief. She didn't expect that Nan Yan would actually attack An Yeoking. Nan Yan glanced at her coldly, and her movements were merciless. She used her wrist to force An Yeoking to almost kneel in front of her. Nan Yan. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 248. This time, it was Inciting who called for help. Inciting was also shocked. She actually treated her own father like this. Was she crazy? An Yeoking gritted his teeth and endured the pain. "Evil girl, you actually dared to hit me. Nonsense, you rushed up to hit me, and you still expect me not to fight back." Nan Yan's unruly eyebrows were cold, cruel, and evil. "It seems that you have never listened to what you said to me seriously. It's my fault. If I don't teach you a profound lesson, how can you remember it?" After saying that, she let go of An Yeoking's arm and kicked him away. An Yeoking fell to the floor in embarrassment. The kick on his chest made his internal organs hurt. This was not the most frightening thing for him. What frightened him most was Nan Yan's aura at this time. Cold and evil, like a Rakshasa from hell, the look she gave him was even more indifferent without any warmth. Is this really his daughter? An Yeoking felt cold all over, and cold sweat broke out on his back. Inciting strode forward and stood in front of An Yeoking, saying sternly, "Nan Yan, he is your father." Nan Yan glared at him coldly. "From the moment we severed our relationship, he is no longer your father. Don't try to use blood ties to bind her. She won't buy it." Inciting looked at her as if she were a monster. "No matter what, he gave you life, how can you do anything to him?" She was so cold-blooded. Really? What a pity. Their daughter was already dead. And she was resurrected by relying on the body of the original owner, and she only owed the original owner a favor. These family members forced the original owner to death together, and she didn't kill them all, which was considered tolerant enough for them. Nan Yan changed her words coldly. "It's a pity, you don't deserve it. Take him, get out, and don't show up in front of me again, otherwise I will beat you every time I see you." And Nan Yan looked at Lulahua, remember the statement you issued to sever ties, you and I have nothing to do with each other. Lu Lehua was frightened by her momentum and his face turned pale. When facing Nan Yan, he couldn't vent the anger before coming. And Yeoking gritted his teeth and stood up with the help of inciting. You offended the Tang family, do you want the An family to be ruined? Do you hate the An family so much? He knew that Nan Yan had no feelings for the An family. Don't forget, the An family was founded by your grandfather. You don't care about us, but do you care about him? If the An family is ruined, your grandfather will hate you and be in great pain. Do you want to kill him? What I want to do has nothing to do with you. Nan Yan's patience ran out, and she raised her finger to the door. Don't make me say it for the third time, get out. At that moment, An Yeoking, Lu Lehua and An Siding did not dare to stay in the old house and left in disgrace. In the car, Lu Lehua supported An Yeoking and began to curse Nan Yan. Those curses did not treat Nan Yan as a daughter at all, but as an enemy. Go to the hospital. An Yeoking suddenly spoke. Arrange a reporter, I want to be interviewed there. Dad, what are you doing? I want to announce Nan Yan's atrocities to the entire network, and take this opportunity to completely draw a line with her in front of netizens across the country. If she commits suicide again in the future, it will have nothing to do with our An family. We can no longer allow her to make enemies and cause trouble for the An family. Lu Lehua also calmed down, your father is right. By the way, let the entire network know how despicable she is. She can even kill her own father. Such a person deserves to be cursed. An Siding gritted his teeth. Recalling Nan Yan's attitude and rebellious behavior, he also agreed with his parents' ideas. In the middle of the night, the hot search about Nan Yan was bought by An Yeoking all the way to the 4th place. As for why it is the 4th, the top 3 are occupied by Tang Tang, and even the back-end management can't shake her position, so he can only buy the 4th place. Oh my god, it's really too shocking. Nan Yan actually beat up her biological parents and broke her biological father's arm and kicked 3 ribs. How can this be called a human? This is clearly a beast. Nan Yan is not worthy of being a human. At Hyde High School, did you see that? Does your school want to let such a scum stay in the school? She still refuses to drop out. Do you want her to spoil the whole pot of porridge? No matter what is wrong with her biological parents, beating them is absolutely wrong. I hope that Nan Yan will come out to explain and apologize to her parents. Under the post, there are all messages accusing Nan Yan and attacking her. At one point, the popularity even surpassed the discussion about Tang Tang. After all, Tang Tang's matter has been on the hot search list for a whole day, and it is no longer new. Moreover, the Tang family came down to control the situation. In addition to not being able to reduce the hot search, they have deleted all the posts discussing Tang Tang on the internet. After all, Tang Tang has a background, and netizens dare not confront the capitalists. Now that a new Nan Yan has emerged, netizens immediately have a focus of attack. Hashtag. In the hotel, Tang Tang saw Nan Yan was listed on the hot search list and was criticized by the whole network, and her face was full of a relieved sneer. She deserves it. Now she can't protect herself, how can the Lin family have the ability to cause trouble to me? Today at the Lin family, she saw clearly that Lin Zion completely listened to Nan Yan. Whatever Nan Yan told her to do, she did it. Just like an obedient dog. Now that the dog owner is in trouble, she must have been so anxious that she was at a loss. Tang Tang couldn't help laughing when she thought of Lin Zion's helpless and panicked look. She held Mrs. Tang's arm with her mobile phone and said gloomily, "Mom, we can be tough when we go to the Lin family tomorrow. I'm afraid that they will take the initiative to make peace with us without us making any conditions." Mrs. Tang said arrogantly, "That's not certain. It's not good to go against the Tang family. They turned us away today. Let's see how I deal with them tomorrow." Hashtag. Lin family. Lin Zion turned to Nan Yan's hot search and her face changed. Mom, the Yan family is very bad to Yan Yan. They are the bad guys. Yan Yan must have been forced by them to fight back. She is definitely not the kind of person that netizens say. She was worried that her parents would have a bad impression of Nan Yan after seeing the hot search. We know. Mrs. Lin patted Lin Zion's arm. Yan Yan is a kind-hearted child, otherwise she wouldn't have saved you. On the contrary, the Yan family did what they did to her, which really makes them unworthy of being parents. Dad Lin also nodded, and then said helplessly, it's just that even though we all know that Yan Yan is a good child, netizens have various misunderstandings about her because of the news released by the Yan family. I don't know how much the Yan family hates Yan Yan, and they must destroy her. Lin Zion bit her lip. I'll call Yan Yan. Mrs. Lin nodded. Well, Yan Yan must need comfort at this time. After the call was connected, Lin Zion just asked a question, and then heard Nan Yan say, you are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 249. After getting through the phone call, Lin Zion had just asked a question when she heard Nan Yan say, his injuries were caused by me. Lin Zion. Although at first glance, she was really shocked. But Lin Zion still believed that Nan Yan was not the one who attacked his family without any reason. She must have her own reasons. Even if she really hit An Yeoking, it must be that An Yeoking went too far. Yan Yan, on the internet. Lin Zion thought so, but she was very worried that what happened on the internet would have a great negative impact on Nan Yan. Nan Yan looked at the laptop screen, leaned lazily on the bedside, and said calmly, you should go to bed early. You don't need to worry about other things. I will solve the online issues myself. Lin Zion said, if you need my help, you must say that although I have no ability, my father can definitely help. Well, that's it, hang up now. Nan Yan didn't wait for Lin Zion to reply and hung up on her. Because Qin Lu's call came in. She swiped the screen and chose to answer. The man's concerned words came from the receiver, Yan Yan, what happened? Nan Yan said indifferently, it's no big deal. Some people just couldn't think of it and came here to harass me. Hearing her indifferent tone, Qin Lu felt that his worries were in vain. After all, with her character, she is not the one who will suffer. She is the only one who bullies others, and half of them cannot bully her. The Yan family is causing trouble for you again, what are you going to do? Nan Yan raised her eyebrows leisurely, for the sake of the old man, I plan not to argue with them. This time we just completely cut off the relationship, which is an unexpected blessing. Do I need someone to suppress the hot search on Weibo? No need for now, I'm going to send something out later. The higher the heat, the better. Qin Lu. He just wanted to help the little girl, why was it so difficult? Then remember to contact brother if you have any questions. Qin Lu said this for the nth time. Good. Nan Yan was perfunctory for the nth time. While still on the phone with Qin Lu, Shen Junking's call came in again. Brother, I'm still busy here, so I'll hang up now. You need to go to bed early. Okay, good night. Qin Lu hung up the phone, and Nan Yan quickly answered Shen Junking's call. The same purpose as Qin Lu was to ask her what happened. Sister, the Yan family doesn't want you, but third brother does. They don't treat you well anyway, so don't be sad. This is the first time I have seen parents like this. They deliberately smear your image and let netizens slander you. What kind of bullshit parents are you? Listening to Shen Junking's angrily words, Nan Yan couldn't help but chuckle, third brother, and Yeoking's injury was indeed caused by me. Ah, it was you who beat him, and he deserves it. But next time something like this happens, you ask the third brother, who will help you beat him. You are related to him by blood, so it will be inconvenient for you to do it. Look at what you are being scolded on the internet. Shen Junqing didn't investigate the situation of Nan Yan and Anjia too carefully. I just know that she has a bad relationship with the An family and has no feelings. Unexpectedly, the relationship has become so bad. Very good, Nan Yan said lightly. Shen Junqing was stunned. Are you being called stupid? Those people on the internet scolded her with vicious words, which made him want to kill them. Now everyone knows that the An family and I have completely broken up and have nothing to do with each other. Isn't it good? Shen Junqing rubbed the center of his brows. Okay, as long as you don't feel sad, if you need anything, tell third brother in time. Good. After a few more pleasantries, Nan Yan hung up the phone. Then he directly put his phone into Do Not Disturb mode and threw it aside. If another call comes in, she probably doesn't have to do anything else but just answer the phone. The room finally became quiet, and Nan Yan began to edit the post on the computer. Hashtag Hospital. And Yeoking was lying on the hospital bed with a plaster on his arm, reading Weibo on his mobile phone in his left hand. Nowadays, Nanyan's reputation on the internet can be said to be that of a street rat. There was almost no one who didn't scold her and no one who didn't accuse her. I'm afraid that early tomorrow morning, Zhide High School will issue a statement expelling Nan Yan from school. By then, no school in Jinqing will accept her, and she will have no choice but to leave Jinqing. The depression that was held in his chest finally eased a bit. Lu Lihua was beside the hospital bed. After reading some comments, he put down his phone, sighed, and said, "Dad, he is really stupid, pampering a white-eyed wolf like this. I hope he won't be confused again this time and drive Nan Yan out of the old house as soon as possible." Lu Lihua believes that even if Nan Yan pleases the old man again, the old man will definitely care more about his son. A daughter hits her father. This kind of behavior is absolutely intolerable given the character of the old man. And Siding said in a deep voice, "I'll go find Grandpa tomorrow and tell him about this." "Well, call your eldest brother, and you two brothers will go together. Take this opportunity to make your grandpa hate Nan Yan and drive her away." When Lu Lihua mentioned Nan Yan, he couldn't help but feel disgusted. It was a good family, look at what it has become because of her coming back. Not only did they force Yao Yao away, but the second and fourth children actually separated from her because of her. She is a disaster star who comes to collect debts. Hashtag Anziran and Anmulin are together. Since the last incident, the two brothers often meet, have a meal together, or drink together. Anmulin casually swiped on his phone, suddenly clicked on Weibo, saw the hot search, and his face changed. "Ziran, check Weibo." Anziran looked up at him in confusion, but still took out his phone and opened Weibo to check. The overwhelming posts that slandered Nan Yan almost occupied the entire screen. What happened? After reading the posts on the hot search, the two hurriedly contacted Nan Yan. As a result, Nan Yan's phone was unreachable. There was no way, and Mulin could only call An Yeoking. Then, he was scolded and told to go to the hospital. After answering the phone, he looked at Anziran with a heavy heart. Dad said that he was beaten by Yan Yan and was hospitalized. And Mulin felt that with Nan Yan's personality, he would definitely do such a thing. At the moment, his heart was very entangled and complicated. It was not right to beat his own biological father in terms of emotion and reason. Has she ever thought about the consequences of doing so? Does she really not care about her reputation or what others think of her? Anziran couldn't sit still any longer. "Well, second brother, you go to the hospital, and I'll go to the old house to discuss what to do. We can't let outsiders keep laughing at the An family." "Okay, then we'll act separately." Just as the two brothers were driving on their way, A new hot search directly replaced the hot search that Qin Ye had people post, and landed in 4th place. The title of the post happened to be related to Nan Yan, so it immediately attracted countless netizens to click in. Qin Ye's little ancestor is a real boss. Author, Junanan. Chapter 250. This is Nan Yan's reply post. She didn't say much. But the key point is the videos she put in the post. After she was reborn and went home for the first time, Qin Ye and Nweo had a conversation. Nweo admitted that she deliberately sent Nan Yan to the bed of that perverted man, Mr. Zhang, and Qin Ye did not blame Nweo at all. He was very considerate of Nweo and wanted to buy her a new phone. In the second video, Lu Lihua treated Nweo and Nan Yan differently. The status of the biological daughter at home was far inferior to that of the adopted daughter. In the third video, Lu Lihua beat Nan Yan at school without asking any questions and asked her to apologize to the classmates who made mistakes. In the fourth video, Qin Ye, Lu Lihua, Nweo, and Mulan discussed together to use Nan Yan to form a marriage alliance to attract investment for the Yin family. In the fifth video, the part where the Yin family came to the door. The second to last video is the part where Mrs. Tang and Tang Tang came to the door yesterday. The last to last video is the part where Nan Yan beat Qin Ye today. Netizens who had entered the video with a lot of anger in their stomachs, after watching these videos, only had one thought in their minds. Nan Yan was too gentle. Are these parents worthy of being parents? No, this couple is very good to their adopted daughter and 4 sons, but they are so hateful to their own daughter. It's really infuriating. No wonder Nan Yan beat him up, such a shameless man. If it were me, I would beat him up too. Some people, where do they get the face to bully Nan Yan again and again? Do they really think she is easy to bully? This time they hit the iron plate, they really deserve it. I really hope Nan Yan is not the blood of the Yin family with such parents. It's better to be an orphan. I was wrong, I apologize to Nan Yan. I shouldn't have made a one-sided conclusion based on just watching some videos and someone's interview such scum parents. They beat them well. I feel sorry for Miss Nan Yan, how badly she was hurt that she would use indifference and tyranny to face these family members who have been hurting her. So sad. Although there are many netizens with positive values, many people still keep criticizing. Just for the sake of criticizing. Even so, it is wrong to hit someone. No matter what, he is the father who gave you life. China advocates filial piety. No matter how big the mistakes of parents are, as children, they must be filial. Upstairs, I hope that when you meet such parents, you can let them manipulate you. For the sake of profit, they send you to one bed after another. Does Nan Yan owe them? They didn't care about her at all for the first 16 years. They took her home for 2 years and bullied her. Do they treat her as a daughter? Have they ever thought that Nan Yan is a person, not a commodity? Such a family is terrible. Fortunately, the Yin family issued a statement to sever relations. I hope that they will not bully the young lady as a family member in the future. Nan Yan's post stimulated another wave of the internet near midnight. The completely reversed style of painting made the audience stunned. Hashtag Lantis Hotel. Qin Lu pushed his notebook away, put his long legs on the ground, and stood up. He walked to the window and lit a cigarette. It seems that he still underestimated the little girl. Her counterattack was indeed neat and decisive. The Yin family could no longer restrain her, so she should be in a good mood. As they got along for a long time, Qin Lu felt that Nan Yan's ability was beyond his expectations. But it was good that way. The stronger she was, the better she could sit on the position of the young lady of the Qin family in the future. Time passed too slowly. It would take more than a year for the little girl to go to college. After going to college, with the little girl's excellence, she would definitely attract many men. He had to keep a close eye on her. Hashtag The Yin family, who originally felt that they had let out a sigh of relief, and Mrs. Tang and her daughter, were in a worse mood after the wind direction on the internet reversed. And Mulan arrived at the hospital and took another look at his mobile phone before getting off the car. Then he saw the new post from Nan Yan. After reading it, his expression gradually turned into self-mockery and regret. The Yan family brought Nan Yan endless harm, and did not give her the warmth of home at all. Now that it has become like this, I am afraid there is no possibility of reconciliation. He calmed down in the car for a long time before going to the ward with a heavy heart. And family old house. When Anziran came, Nan Yan was already asleep. Then she was annoyed by Anziran's persistent knocking on the door and had no choice but to open the door. Nan Yan held the door frame, in a not very friendly mood. "Why are you here?" She was woken up just after falling asleep. It would be strange if she was in a good mood. "Yan Yan, do you still recognize the fourth brother?" Anziran's expression was a little nervous. He naturally saw the post. Now, he felt that he had no face to face her again. "What are you worried about?" Nan Yan pinched his eyebrows a little annoyed. "You are my fourth brother, now and in the future. Don't think too much. I am not against people." Anziran was moved, but felt more guilty. "Yan Yan, I'm sorry. I want to sleep. You can do whatever you want." Nan Yan closed the door directly, not wanting to listen to Anziran's apology. Anziran stood at the door for a long while, then sighed helplessly and left. Hashtag. The next day, Mrs. Tang and Tang Tang went to the Lin family again. Originally, Mrs. Tang wanted to use the power of the Tang family to pressure the Lin family to withdraw the lawsuit. Unfortunately, with Nan Yan's advance instructions, Father Lin strongly refused and insisted on taking legal action. Father Lin couldn't figure out why he listened to Nan Yan so much. But he just intuitively felt that Nan Yan was absolutely sure to let him do this. He believed her. Mrs. Tang looked very unhappy. "Are you really not afraid of offending the Tang family?" Father Lin's tone was very tough. "You bully my daughter so much, do you really think that you can do whatever you want with power?" Mrs. Tang snorted coldly. "Then I will tell you with reality that you can do whatever you want with power. Within a week, your Lin family will be removed from Jinqing. This is the end of offending the Tang family." What a big tone. A cold voice sounded from outside the door. The people in the living room looked back at the same time. Nan Yan came slowly, with cold eyes, looking at the mother and daughter of the Tang family with sarcasm. "You can try to see if you can move the Lin family." Tang Tang gnashed her teeth in hatred. "Nan Yan, what does this have to do with you? This is between me and Lin Zion. Why are you getting involved? Is it not okay to stand up for the weak?" Nan Yan walked to Lin Zion, then handed her her mobile phone. "Answer this call." Lin Zion took the call in confusion and clicked to answer. The other party asked, "Are you Miss Lin Zion?" Lin Zion raised her eyes and glanced at Nan Yan, and replied, "Yes, may I ask who you are?" Nan Yan reached over and turned on the hands-free. "Hello, I am Zhong Changning, the president of the Painting Association, and I would like to invite you to join the Painting Association."